Um, yeah, a little disappointing, obviously, with the result for sure. But I mean, obviously, hell of a game down the stretch. I mean, both teams had to make some plays, and we gave ourselves an opportunity to potentially force it into overtime. But credit to them, I thought they shot the ball tremendously well, which I knew they could. We knew that they would spread us out, and they can shoot the ball in all 5 positions, so they make it really tough on your rotation. We're learning some tough lessons right now. We obviously lost a close game against UCF, and then lost another one tonight, which is a bit self-inflicted. But I don't want to take anything away from them. They beat Maryland earlier in the year, and they basically had Clemson beat too. So they obviously have the potential to play really high-level basketball, and they came in here tonight and played a really good game, and we just weren't good enough tonight.
Coach Deshaun got off to a fast start, took advantage of Davidson's size, I guess the discrepancy there, but they countered by kind of putting him in a lot of ball screens and trying to bring him out on the perimeter, kind of eliminating that rim protection. Can you just talk about maybe if you guys had a counter to their counter off of what they were doing with Deshaun?
Yeah, look, everything for me in the game is about behaviors and habits, right? And you get found out when you don't bring it every day at a high enough level. And I'm talking about everybody right now. And the guys play very hard, and they battle really hard to the end. There's no doubt about that. They've done that every game, which we really do appreciate that. And that's definitely a good behavior to have, right? It's just every day at practice, and every day in your own time when you're working on your game and off the floor preparing and so on and so forth. If you want to be really, really good, you got to be extremely detailed and detailed in your preparation. Physically, mentally, emotionally, you've got to be really detailed with all that type of stuff. And against good teams, if you're not good enough, then you get found out. So, they put us in on-ball screens. We obviously had a game plan, and we didn't do a very good job following it, if I'm being honest with you. And it's self-inflicted, and it's hard to make adjustments when you're not getting the first thing done. All right. So to answer your question, the counter, well, we went smaller. We started to switch a lot of on-ball screens, which allowed us to get back in the game, and we just downsized. But obviously, we don't want to have to do that a lot if we can, because obviously he can be a very effective force inside. But you also got to be able to play both ends of the floor. And they're big too, right? And they just have better detail and probably better togetherness because they've been together for a little bit. And we're still trying to work through a bit of that. But we obviously downsized some. We started to switch a little bit more and it made it a little bit more difficult to them. But in close games like that, little things hurt you. And they got us on a backdoor cut real late in the game. And that's obviously something we talked about in detail a lot, about not getting beat in that position, and it creeps up at the worst time, right?
I guess I have a follow-up for Igor off of coaches talking about detail. There was one possession on defense that kind of caught my eye. It was when you and Jackson switched, and you were trying to recover on the switch, telling him, hey, go back, I got the guy. And when that happened, he was just a split second late on that three, closed out a little late to hit a three. Talking about details, can you just talk about the communication, if you guys could maybe work on that a little more going on to the season so that those little things maybe could get axed out of the game?
First half? Yeah, I feel Jackson told me to get back to his man. I went back to my man. It just happened that the guy was open. I mean, we got to talk better. We got to recognize those situations better, and we definitely work on them in practice, not like we don't. And I feel like today was a day that we had poor communication, and that's why a lot of backdoors happened, a lot of open threes happened for them, off of staggers. But it's not like we don't practice on that. Like, we do a lot, and we did prepare for that. Just the execution wasn't there today. I don't know what happened. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Igor, I want to ask about downsizing, playing the 4 and the 5 quite a bit. It felt like you were in rhythm with your shot tonight, but knowing you're switching and you have so much to do on the defensive side of the ball, how does that maybe change your offensive approach?
I mean, in offense, I just got to take whatever is given to me. You know, I know my teammates are going to find me, but in defense, I got to step up. I got to be better. It's been a few games that I've been not up to my level, and I will do my best to get back on it. But in offensively, I feel comfortable playing 4, 5, whatever coaches want me to do, and I'll just try to find open shots, open teammates. They try to do what's the best for the team to win.
Coach, you know, it's easy to be critical in a tough loss like this, but what were some of the bright spots? I mean, obviously you came back when they, went on runs. You got off to a quick start. So what were some of those bright spots?
Yeah, we haven't been shooting the ball very well, and we haven't had very good rhythm offensively. We got a little bit better with that rhythm tonight, and obviously it showed up in the way we were able to shoot the ball some. We've been very, very good defensively in that second half. We basically didn't guard anybody. They shot the lights out, and like what Igor was talking about, they're a very difficult team to defend. They have been for years. Their system, the way they spread you out and move the ball well and cut hard on the rim and always have guys that can really shoot and stretch the floor. And so they really test you. They really, really test you defensively and discipline-wise. So, look, I'm obviously disappointed we lose a game, but I'm also very, I don't know if happy is the right word, but you learn the lessons the hard way, right? And you try and tell them, but they learn the hard way. And we've played 2 games now where, we've had opportunities to win and don't do the little things well enough at the right time. And that right time doesn't mean right at the end of the game. It could be just a patch of the game. And, that came in tonight at the wrong time. But, credit to them. They played extremely well and they shot the ball really well and executed some stuff well. But probably a little bit like us. We're trying to find ourselves a little bit, both clubs. And, they were able to get on top tonight.
Coach Robert Broswell had just under 5 minutes to play today. Is that kind of just trying to slowly get his workload back up, or he just talked about the decision?
Yeah, he's had a very unfortunate, probably last 12, 18 months, and I feel really we all feel really bad for him. The thumb injury and then some other stuff, his knee, and he's a guy that needs to be playing to get some rhythm. He's a shooter, and we could really use that length and athleticism and just his experience. He's been in college basketball for a long time. He's been in this system for a long time now, and he'll get there. It's just he's been a little bit better in practice and getting a little bit more confident and comfortable in that environment, but playing out there in a game is a little different, just a little bit sharper and edgier and quicker. And but we will definitely work very hard to try and get him back. And I know he'll be doing the same.
For both of you guys, I want to ask you about 42 David Scogden for them. Puts up triples his average, puts up 30. What was kind of the scouting report on him? And then for Igor, kind of what did you see out there guarding him?
What you said. He has ability to stretch the floor. He's been the leading scorer. The way that they use him, they stretch you out, and their guards put a lot of pressure on the rim, cutting, coming off screens. They used and moved him around very well tonight. That put us under tremendous pressure, and credit to them for that. But it's not like we didn't know what he was going to do. We just, like I said earlier, and like Igor said, we just didn't really follow the game plan great and got exposed. And then when those things kind of happen, you ultimately defensively want to build trust, and that comes through communication, just execution of rules. And when those things start to wobble, then guys start to try and make up on the spot, and and then it all just kind of falls apart, you know, like a bit of a castle, and that's, you know, kind of what happened really at times, and that puts us all under pressure when we start doing those things, when you break away from your system.
I kind of want to talk about another play. I think it's 67, 65. I can't remember the exact score. Nick Graves gets a turnover or gets a rebound, starts coming down the floor. He hits into Igor, and I just think it was one of those push it. You talk about execution. Were you trying to slow it down maybe in a scenario like that and get a good shot rather than just trying to, you know, push it and kind of keep the tempo going there?
I mean, it was one of the bit of those bang plays. You know, we're trying to work off a step-up screen, and we just got in each other's way, unfortunately. One of those unfortunate plays. And and you're right, it was a pretty big play. You know, we kind of could have got a bit of momentum if we'd made something happen out of that. And unfortunately, we didn't. So sometimes that's just the way the ball bounces.
And then would you mind to follow up on a question about 42?
I mean, a great player, obviously seasoned, older guy. He knows how to play. He's a good player. He hit 11 out of 17 shots. That's very good. And he knew how to exploit our defense when we had smaller guys on him. He played in the post. When he had bigger, slower guys, he shot the three well. Rebounded. He did everything on the floor, really. We knew what he was going to do, and we thought we were prepared for it, but we just got to do a better job. But before everything, congrats to him, and great game.
Is Lakai okay?
I think so. Yeah, it was a little scary there at the end. What it is, I don't know. We'll find out more.
And last question I have is, obviously Bob McKillop was at Davidson forever. This first year with Matt. Did you notice anything different in the way that he runs the team, runs offense?
I mean, no. I mean, they run the same stuff that they've been doing for the last 6 years we've played them now. You know, and why would you change it? Like, they were extremely successful for a long time, running what they do, and they recruit certain players to that system, and they trust it, and they're very good at it, and it's very difficult to defend, and it's been very good against very good teams. You know, so, and they bring a lot of different players through that, obviously through their system, and have very good consistent success with it. So I would do what they were doing too. I think he's doing a great job with it, and obviously he's got to try and find his own identity. You know, obviously his dad was there for a long time, and he was part of it as an assistant, but he also has to find his own way of doing what he does, and that will take a little bit of time because it's a different voice and a different way of delivering the messages and so on and so forth. And you know, he'll add his little tweaks and things to it. But you know, they've always been difficult to prepare for, and they're difficult to play against, and we have had a lot of games kind of like that, which, you know, makes them fun. Obviously, it was a pretty fun environment down the stretch. We just came out the wrong side.
Any more questions? If not, then that concludes tonight's press conference. Thank you all.